a big part of your growth is not just the quality of the food and how clean it is, how healthy it is, but you're delivering an amazing guest experience when people come in. And that's where I think, the ideas that you have to share are going to be so important because I hear a lot of people complain, when they're in certain industries. They're like, "Well, we don't have the money to pay as well as some of our competitors, or we don't have the budget to do, training and develop our people." And I've seen the three ideas that you want to share, and so I just want to preface what you're about to share with like this is the restaurant industry you're hearing this from. This isn't some, you know, SaaS company or some office job. They're doing these things in the restaurant industry. So I think this is extra valuable coming from you. And the first idea you wanted to share is just the importance of effective communication. So let's start with, by your definition, Kelly, what do you mean by effective communication? And then we'll dive into why it's so important and how to do it. But what's your definition of this?
So for me, effective communication is people need to understand the people who work in the organization. They need to understand why they come to work every day.
Hmm.
What purpose are we serving? And I think communicating that vision to them, so that frankly, people want to work in a place where they feel like they're able to, help society and contribute to a healthier world in our case. And I think people feel good about what they're able to do. We also serve a franchisee, so we create this brand with this incredibly healthy food, but we also have a responsibility to make these restaurant operations as profitable as possible because people are investing their own money in these restaurants, and that's how they feed their families, right? And
Right.
so we have a responsibility to do the best job we can every single day to have a profitable business model and for our guests create this menu of incredibly healthy choices. And so if you can't feel good about that, then you're probably not in the right business. But I think most people can get their head around being able to help so many different constituencies, right? And so I think communicating that vision is super, super important. Um, and then we're a growth company, right? And so we we have strategies to grow, and there's reasons to grow because we want to see people. We want to see our franchisees make more money. We want to see more people have access to better for you products. We
And
we
those two
want,
things go hand in hand, right? The more
yeah,
successful your franchisees are, the more that they can create access to healthy food for people.
right. And we have team members that want to develop themselves and to grow in their career as well. So those opportunities in a growing company, people get promoted, they make more money, they can do more for their communities, they can do more for their families. And so we want to see people inside the company grow as well. And then we want the communities to benefit as well because the more money that our franchisees make or um, the better we all do financially, the more we can give back to our communities, whether it's money or service time, etc. So I think creating that vision is why these are the reasons we're here. And one of the things we did early on in WOWorks, while everyone else was hunkered down during COVID, we said, look, we have this shared vision and these values. Let's put all this on paper. And what I don't want is this to be just platitudes on a wall, right? I don't want
Right.
like, okay, here's our shared values, put it on the wall, and nobody ever looked. It's like not on a wall. It's like how this is how we live our lives, right? And this is how we behave. And we we talk about it a lot. And we have a chief culture officer, and her only job is to make sure that we keep a culture alive. And it's not all about the culture. When some people misunderstand culture as a place where that it's there just to make me feel good. That's one piece of it, but It's a culture of, hey, we get things done here. Hey, we're a growth culture. Hey, we hold each other accountable. But we also have a culture of, like, if you're not passionate, you probably shouldn't be in this culture. And so there's a lot of things in the culture. There's also a culture of being real. So getting all the politics out of what we do every day. And but we also have a culture of being fulfilled, right? And so we want people to be fulfilled. And if you can do all of those things, then I think you'll be much happier in your job. And you'll be a much better, team member for everyone else. And so I do think that it's also important to create a culture where people can say what they think.
Mm,
To me, that's very, very important as far as when we're talking about communication. It needs to be a safe place where you can share your ideas, and there's nothing that makes particularly young people happy when they have an idea and you put that idea in place, and all of a sudden they can see their thing. That was my idea. They can go to hundreds of restaurants across the country and see that their idea implemented.
yeah, it's
I
awesome.
could, I remember the first time that, something, I saw something, hey, it was my idea. Now they put it everywhere, and it's really a cool thing to see. And so, so that's also part of communication, right? It's also important to let people know when things are going well and things maybe not going as well, and we need to pivot. We've got this strategy, but we may need to pivot because conditions have changed, and obviously COVID changed everything for all of us. There's been whether we think we're in an inflation, we've had this crazy inflation. If we think we're in some sort of recession or not, people definitely have less money to spend right now. So that's a change for us. And so how do we create a value proposition for them? So communicating all of these things frequently helps people understand, oh, now I know why we're doing what we're doing, because
Mm,
it's been explained to me the reason why we do things. And whether it's like we have rules in the company, well, the reason we have rules is not so that you have to behave a certain way, it's to protect you from something. So it's just communicating the why behind almost everything you do. And quite frankly, you have to over communicate it over, as people don't necessarily hear things the first
right.
time.
Yeah, I've been told like you're getting it right when you're tired of hearing yourself say it, right?
Right.
Because you said it so much, right?
Right. Well, I know I'm getting through when I hear other people saying the things that I've said,
Yeah.
when they start repeating it, then I'm like, okay, it's getting through to people now.